got to be, I'm proud of me. That's why I'm steady moving on despite the hatred. I get better every song, man, it's got to be, I'm proud of me. If you don't like it, move along, get the shaking if the bacon ain't involved, man, it's got to be, I'm proud of me. That's why I'm steady moving.
All praises to the Most High. Welcome back. It's our Thursday episode. Same topic, same great people. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We're not going to get too much talk. We want to delve right back into this. JD, Auntie, welcome back. Thursday day show. Auntie, before we cut off, I had asked you about, before we had done that last part, to me, it seems like so many women have been used by men, single mothers have been used by men, that they kind of become bitter towards men, and then it becomes like it makes them lesser to seek a partner to help support them in raising the child. How do you as a psychologist, a single mother, a counselor, and a pastor see that, and what do you think, if anything can be done to relieve that?
Okay, so yes, it is true. Reason being, as a single mother, sometimes and the pressures of life, you know, the expense and having to take care of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however amount of children you have, you know, and working a minimum wage at times, it really can bear, you know, take a toll on you as a single mother. And so sometimes you find yourself you know, meeting a man that initially shows interest in you, but really maybe he, in the beginning, you know, this man had a real interest in you, and somewhere along the line something happened, he lost interest. So maybe he came in and then he started to abuse you or abuse your children. So you let that one go, and then you move on and you meet another one, and you know, the cycle, especially when you're always looking in the same demographics for men, you know, to come into your life or in the lives of your children. You're always choosing the same kind or the same type of men, you know, with the same characteristic, you know. And so over time you get bitter from all this abuse, whether it's physical abuse or verbal abuse or emotional abuse, psychological abuse, financial abuse as well. You know, financial abuse where the man uses his money to control the relationship, or to control you, because you know that's what you need, you know, to pay your bills, to pay your rent, your car note, to put food on your table, etc. Especially if you don't have a job as a single mother. Okay, so after going through all of these experience, you get angry, you get bitter, because remember, you're trusting this man not to do what the last one did. And so he comes in and he does the same thing or worse. So you get angry, you get bitter. Some women tend to hate the father, and in hating the father, that hate transcends, or you know, and trickles down to the child. We do have mothers that actually hate the child, especially if the child resembles the father.
You look just like your daddy.
Yeah, you look just like your father. You're no good like your father. And that is so wrong, because remember, that child comes from you. The father didn't give birth to that child. You gave birth to that child. You carried that child for 9 months or 7 months if it's a preemie. You know, it's your child. However,
it's crazy I said that to the auntie, because when I was a child, I remember somebody telling me, you know, my stepmother telling me one time, you're nothing like your mother, and you're not going to be nothing just like your mother. And to hear you say that, you know, so I've heard that in a reverse version, where it wasn't my father, but it was my mother. I was told that you're just like your mother, and you're going to be nothing like your mother. And other things that were said, but that is...
Yeah, and it damages the child psychologically.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard as a single mother, and yes, some of us we end up with a good man that comes in our life, and he plays the role of a father better than the biological father ever has or ever would. He comes in, he takes his responsibility, and he fits in very well, so well, you know, in the home, taking care of the children, forging a bond, a father-child, father-children bond between himself and the children that this woman might have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so there are some good men that will come and will fill that gap, you know, comfortably, without you as a woman feeling any kind of regret or in choosing him.
You think that bond that is created, the bond that is created by the man that steps into the role, at times you think that bond is actually stronger than the bond of actually having that real father around?
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes, yes.
When you do that, because you know there's a word, it's called cockhold. You know what that word means, Auntie? Cockhold? Like the meaning of the word?
No.
So the cockhold the original meaning of the word is say, a man leave and gone somewhere and you come in and take over the house and start raising children and be with the woman. So they used them back in the day, the word was called cockhold. They walk into the house and say, yo, the man a cockhold the whole cockhold so and so house. You see? So
okay.
When the perception is that no, as a black man, right? Black men, we say, well, no man can't raise my picnic like me can't raise my picnic. It's a kind of a stigma we have. Men say it a lot, but mainly in the black community. So,
but are you making sure that another man doesn't step in and raise your child? Because that's what you should do. My thing is, even if the relationship doesn't work out, the relationship should be there that you're able to co-parent, so the child still feels secure by both mommy and daddy.
But sometimes when that man steps in, he does a better job than the father did.
Biological father, of course, I agree with that. Yes, so, absolutely.
So as a man, and as a parent, I feel like can't nobody raise my kids the way they supposed to, like they supposed to be raised. You know what I'm saying? So and I don't know how to explain it, man. It's just a crazy thing, because you have to be, as a grown person, you have to say, okay, I'm not there or I can't be there completely. So if someone is there that is responsible and is doing the right things, you have to create a relationship with this other person that is in your position in a halfway situation.
You don't if you're talking about the father and the stepfather, you don't have to create a relationship, but you have to respect the person enough. You have to show that person respect, because he's now wearing the shoe that you should be wearing and taking up your responsibility.
I believe that if the main focus is in the best interest of the child, as parents, we find a way.
We find a way, absolutely. Yeah. We find a way, absolutely.
But when you don't have the best interest, then there's no way to be found.
Exactly. So it's all about the interest of the child. So that should be the main perspective where the parenting is concerned, or you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
At least in my opinion.
As a single mother, I will not sit here and pretend that it's an easy task, that it's easy. The experience has been great. I have learned a lot. There were times when I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I never showed my children that weakness.
That's a very hard thing to do, because there are times when I have my children and I'll be overwhelmed by the fact that they have to leave.
Yeah.
It's a temporary love time I have. It's not a I'm gonna wake up every morning and my child is gonna be here. You see? So as you parent in 2021 or whatever we got going on right now, parent is different, you know. It's FaceTime. It's I didn't see my kid this week, so I'm gonna call him on FaceTime and talk to him on FaceTime.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like
now, but even though you call and FaceTime, it's not the same as personal contact, personal relationship, you know, being able to go places with your child or your children, you know, and these moments for me, these are bonding moments.
Yes.
You know, these are bonding moments. When my children were here, you know, away in school and stuff like that, and I cherished those moments when we I remember so vividly, you know, and when they all have their own bedrooms, right? But there are times when they would all jump in my bed, and I love, even though I'm like, get out of my room, get off my bed. Man, that was like, that was the moment for me.
Yeah.
I loved it.
You
I
know what?
love having them
wanna-
in my bed. And there are times I would tell them, just wait until I get married. Y'all ain't gonna get in my bed no more. Never.
I want to touch on something real quick though.
Go ahead.
Because we all, well, today we're aware of the importance of the father figure in a family as well as the mother figure in a family where
Not aware of
we
that,
single
sir.
parenting and
That is not something we're aware of today. People do.
well, we should be.
Yeah.
But what we really don't speak about, and as you know, me, as I said earlier, I was a very jealous child, so I really never liked to see my mom dating other guys, and so especially she would have dates, and to me I felt like it's an obligation that she should speak to me as a child about these people before going. That's how I was, you know what I mean? But as I grew, I came to.
Who are you dating?
So I was the man of the house. That was it for me. But as I grew, I came to understand that we are all human beings.
Yeah.
And the mothers too are women. They are mothers, yes, but they're also women, and they have feeling, they have needs the same that we do as men. You know what I mean?
Awkward conversation.
I understood that I understood that gradually as I grew and experienced life. And my question is, as a single mother, I would want you to speak on, based on your experiences and advice that you may want to give other single mothers. Where do you fix the how do I explain this? Where do you set the bar, the boundaries or the bar where your needs as a woman is concerned
versus the child?
Meaning no, not versus the child, because that is basically a necessity. The needs of the child has to be met where providing is concerned, because that's just your responsibility. But when it comes to your personal needs as a woman, you know what I mean? On an emotional perspective, on even physical perspective, how do you go about dealing with that? From finding the person that is right for you to introducing him into the child and ensuring that he's the right person for the child. Because based on how I see things, single women that are mothers have a really difficult time finding the right guy that will satisfy their needs as a woman and be there for the child, and they tend to end up in a position where they stay single, taking care of the children, because they're having difficulties finding the right person, stuff like that.
Okay, so for starters, I want to put this out there that as a woman, one thing we don't do, we don't have men. As a single mother, one thing you shouldn't do, have men in and out of your children's lives. That's an absolute no-no. You're dating, you're doing your thing, your child if you're not serious about this person, if this person is not absolutely serious about you, do not introduce him to your children or your children to him. Do not leave your home. Your home is sacred. Your home is a safe haven for your children, where you keep and you protect and you nurture your children. You should not have a man or men walking in and out your children's lives in your home. That's an absolute no-no. Whatever I do, and I've always said this to my children, anything I do in my life, it's with you guys in mind, with my children in mind. Now, if I am dating a person, a man, and my children don't like him in the onset, my children don't like him, I put an X on him as well.
The short drift.
Yeah,
I gotta make sure you come with some toys. If
he starts coming around and my children really don't like him or have, then, I put an X on him. You understand me? Because if I'm bringing a man in my life, I'm also bringing him in my children's lives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. now they're adult as young children. No, whatever I bring in is also to benefit them. All right, so that's one of the things. The other thing, as a single mother, yes, you have needs, and however you want to fulfill your need or satisfy your need, but your children don't have to know about that. I remember during my single parent times, I did get involved with a gentleman, a person, and my children knew him, and he loved them and they loved him. They had a somewhat fair enough good relationship. Javed knows who I'm talking about. However, that relationship was not a relationship that should have been, you know. And it went, but it was kind to me. It was very kind and very nice to the kids, you know. So it was okay. It was a really nice person, and it was, you know, I somewhat felt comfortable and with this person, and to an extent I felt safe with this person. You know, this person, he would always be there if I call on him. He could not have done much, but he does whatever it is that he can or could.
That's a crazy word you used there, Auntie. Hold on real quick. You used a word right there that hit me really hard. You said safe.
Safe, yes.
As a single mother, how safe is such a crazy word for you as a single mother, because you're not only you're bringing you don't know if this man touches children.
Exactly.
You don't know if this man is a kidnapper. You don't know if this man gonna come into your house and start beating children down as soon as you.
Exactly. So before you even introduce him to your children, you have to scope him out.
You know what's crazy now, Auntie? No, I look at it and I start realizing, say, I've met a lot of crazy women. Because I've met a lot of women's kids in the first week of knowing them.
No.
I went to women's house with their kids there the first time I've ever met them.
Really?
They're like, oh, this is my friend.
No, it doesn't. You don't do that. You don't expose your children, because if this thing doesn't work out, you know, what are you going to tell their children? And the next month is another man, and then after that, you know. So no, you make sure that at least what you have is something serious, there's a level of stability there and safety there. Okay, so what I had with this individual.
Hold on, Auntie, before you go. You know what's crazy? As a psychologist, let me ask you this and tell you this at the same time. So when I was growing up, it's like almost like I have the reverse version of a female story when it comes to how relationships work. Because when I was growing up, my dad had my stepmom and they stayed together through the time. But my mom she had several boyfriends. And now I'm thinking about it as you're talking about this. I think that affected me some kind of way, because I constantly seek like it's like no relationship is fulfilling. It's like there's something missing from it. It's like the escape of seeking that parental love from the very start that I never received in a feminine manner. You see? So it's like, I just sit here and say that's not the thing, but you know, it's like, as a parent, you affect your child life so much in all your actions, you know.
All your actions, exactly. And that is why, even though I was in this relationship, and like I said in the onset, it was not a relationship that I should have been in. It lasted a couple of years, yes. But I remembered at one point, I sat both my children down, if they can remember, and I spoke to them. I said, okay, listen, mommy found herself in a situation that she should not have been in. It's not a good one. It's not something, and most importantly, this is what I wanted to get across to them. This is not something that I want neither of you to get involved in, because it's not the ideal thing. Of course, this person was a married man. He was married, he has a family, you know, and I had to be honest with my children. They knew him, he loved them, they had a good relationship, a friendship with them, and stuff like that. But at the same time, I still wanted to educate them. I still wanted to inject integrity in them. So I could not pretend like this is the life. This is what this is a good model. It was not a good model. So as a parent, as a single mother who wants the best for her children, I had to be honest with them and say, you know what? This is not something I want either of you to find yourself in.
JD, how do you deal with that?
I have found myself in this, and it's not a situation that I am completely happy about. And we had a conversation. I remember once my son said to me, you know, Mom, I want you to be happy. I want you to be careful. I want you to be careful. He said something to me along that line. You remember when I had that conversation?
And that's exactly how I felt about the situation.
Yeah.
Safety first.
I want you to be happy, but I also want you to be careful.
Yeah.
These were his exact words to me.
JD, as we sit here, we talk to Auntie, and we ask her all these questions about being a single mother. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
How did you feel as the son? And because I know how I felt as a son, and I seen my mother dating other guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I wasn't as jealous as you. I turned my jealousy into finding females.
Yeah.
Well, you wanted. So how did you feel as the son of this wonderful lady, seeing those things happen? And hold on, did you really comprehend it, or was you just jealous?
All right. Well, there's a distinction there, because in the beginning, when there was no comprehension, there was jealousy. You understand? That's when I was in my younger days. I didn't understand what was going on. My father passed, but I still wanted her to stay with my father, you know. So I was very young, so because remember I lost my dad at 6, so you know that I didn't completely understand the situation. So I was very jealous of my mom.
Yeah.
Gradually, it transformed from that jealousy, and I began to understand certain things. It transformed from jealousy to overprotectiveness. So I was being very overprotective of my mom, and not only my mom, but all the females in my life. My sisters
a little bit
included.
here. He was so overprotective that I'd be out and my phone is ringing off. Mommy, where are you? You know what time it is? You're not coming home? Mommy's late. Like, boy, I'm a grown woman. It does.
Come home.
Yeah. Hey.
Come home.
And then when that was over, he was like, I hope you know that anybody you're going to be would have to come through me first.
How old was he? How old was he when he said that? How old was he?
Because
I was in my teens then.
His reason for that is that he saw me get hurt.
Yeah.
He saw me being abused, and he didn't want that. So he, now it's his turn of protecting mommy to make sure that the man that mommy's gonna end up with is not gonna be one of those bugger.
Exactly.
Buggers.
Okay, go ahead, Joby.
Yeah, so that transition was a big one, but as mom said, it's due to certain experiences that we lived through. And I thought that, once I always said to myself, once I reached the age where I was able to defend myself and defend my mom, that would never be an issue. That's how I saw things,
Yeah.
And so, I was very protective of my mom, you understand? Now, with that part, still is, but way less, I believe.
I believe.
With that, I gotta be honest. With that particular person now, as mom said, he was a really good guy. You understand? Yeah. We have had serious discussions between me and him that mom didn't even know about.
Listen. I need both of you to stop saying. I need both of you guys to stop saying he was not a really good guy. Okay?
No. Let me explain.
No. It was all fake. It was all lies.
No, Garnet. It really wasn't. And I'll tell you why. But after, go ahead, Joe.
No, man, you guys can't keep on calling him a good guy if he lied and told lies, cheated, and had a whole nother family, and then was living a whole nother life with you guys. How can
we knew? I knew about it.
There was no lie.
I knew about it
from the start.
Yeah.
Oh. Shoot, okay, he's a good guy.
Yeah, and there were moments where because at that time I was what, like 15, 16, something around there.
Yeah,
probably
16,
older.
Yeah, 15, 16, 17.
Yeah, boxer, doing a whole lot. So there were moments where I had sit down with him, you know what I mean? And I told him, hey, listen, I set certain boundaries where my mom is concerned. You understand?
Hold on.
I had personal conversations with him.
Now, I want to hear this. Hold on a minute. I want to hear this, Garnet, because I didn't know. Wait, I want to know this. I want to know this.
Yeah.
A 15-year-old boy.
Yeah.
You put up on this grown man and was like, listen, Ross, there's some boundaries to set there. Don't come to mommy now.
I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
Real talk.
Wow, this gets juicy.
Real talk.
Boundaries. Run
Real
them
talk. So, no, I set real boundaries, especially where, you know, violence is concerned.
Yeah.
You know, I made it very, very, very clear. If in any given scenario, I should find out that you were to lay hands on my mom, there will be I would make it a personal problem of mine. And I knew where he lived. I went there to get. No, I made it. I wasn't disrespectful, but I made sure he understood that, you know, this can't happen under no possible circumstance without there being a very big problem between me and him, and you know. So I made that clear. That was very important to me. You know what I mean? And when it comes to the other part, I addressed that with my mom. You understand? I wanted her to be aware of the situation that she was getting herself in. You understand? And make sure that she made the right decisions for her, not to get hurt.
Listen, he was a parent at 15. He was trying to parent you at 15, Auntie.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of like, but I raised them in that manner that, you know, they know right from wrong. I raised them in the manner where integrity and honesty and respect was paramount in their life and their conduct.
Yes.
You know, and so that is why when I found myself in this situation, I had to come to my children and say, hey, look, this is not one of the lesson that I want you to learn. This is not one of the thing that I want you to take into your life with you. Okay, this is just mommy being human and falling to her emotional needs, and you know, it's just one of those things. Shouldn't be, but it is. I want to get out of it. I don't know how to get out of it right now. I have tried everything. At this point, I'm waiting until God just sever this by himself. Because I myself, I did a lot, try to, you know, force a break. In fact, both of us, there were times when we tried, you know, because we decided, okay, you know what, this is not working out. You know, this is not that it's not working out, but this is not good for either of us, you know. But so let's try. And the more we try to split or to pull away, the closer we get, you know. So we decided, okay, you know what, it's not working by our strength. So let God just step in and, you know, it
I just want to share. I just want to share something with you real quick that you probably didn't know either. There was this one occasion where I was working for the collectivity, right, which is the government in St. Martin, and I was educating students in boxing, right. And he came by, you know, and I was showing kids how to do some moves, and I was like, hey, come here, you know. So he came over. And I was showing some moves to the children, and I hit him in the nuts.
This guy.
No, I did it on purpose. It was like a warning shot for me, you know what I mean? But we laughed it out. We laughed it out after, you know.
No, he wasn't happy. You were laughing. He was in pain. And listen, the thing I know about human nature is we're built for relations.
Yeah.
Would that be sexual, friendship, in a intimate relationship, would that be a casual relationship? We're built to associate with each other. No human being is built to be alone or to be bound by, are you let us be you alone? You see me, sir? So when we relate to others and then we bring those relationships in towards something that, because you don't care what nobody's saying, I created my children and that came from me and another person. So that means that I created something that I have more responsibility for than technically my own life, because like you said, I brought them in. And well, technically not my choice. I did the fun part, and it was her choice whether to bring them in or say no, yeah or nay. But I was a part of the construction of it. So when you relate, when you bring other people into a relationship that you already have established with your child, because your child is the first and foremost relationship, and that person comes in, and like you said, JD at 15 feel like say he had to protect you from another relationship.
No, it's not as at 15. This boy has been trying that since he was 6 years old. Not at 15. I'm telling you, he's always. I remember at 7 years old, he said, "Mommy, I don't want you to have any husband. I will be your husband, and I'm going to buy you a Beamer." You remember Courts used to give away the Beamer?
I remember that.
I will be your husband, and I'm going to buy you a Beamer. So he owes me a Beamer. I haven't got.
Hey boy, Beamer
You'll get
on the
that.
line.
Don't worry. Twice over.
It's coming. But we have to. The thing about this, as I was saying, you know what I'm saying, with single mothers, no man can really understand the difference between being a single mom and raising a son. Now, as a single mother, and you raise a daughter, was there a difference in how you approach raising a JD compared to how you raise the daughter?
There's not a notable difference, because the education I give to one, I give to the other. With Javain, I taught him how to respect women. I taught him how not to abuse women. I remember specifically, I said to him, "Son, the day you put your hands on a woman is the day you're no longer my son," right?
Yeah, that's true.
I
Very
said
true.
that to him. The day you put your hands on a woman, another person's daughter, is the day you're no longer my son, because this is not how I raised you. You love your mother and you love your sisters, and you don't want anybody to do this to them, so don't do it to another person's daughter. All right? Then I said to my daughter, in the reverse, the day you have a man or a husband or your boyfriend and you treat him with disrespect, is the day you lose your true femininity. Is the day you lose, because a true feminine respects her husband or her boyfriend. And I can tell you that because, mind you, my relationship, the person that I've been with and make children with, we have children together, and I left them because of the abuse or the cheating. They spent the rest of their entire life, including Javain father, wanting me back. Why? Because I always, it doesn't matter what happened, I make sure that I treat them like a king. So when they leave and mess up and I'm gone, they realize that, hey, Georgia was really the deal. She is the deal. She treated me like a king. She respected me. I respected them, but I was not their fool. And I did everything in my relationship to make sure that that a woman's supposed to do.
That's gone. Them days is dead, auntie.
Okay, but never. So it was always two different. It's the same training, but different words.
So pretty much,
And I
as a
also
parent,
taught my
you just
daughters
gave
how to protect themselves from the predators, the men that are predators, what to look for.
Yeah, and that's a tough one, especially on the the female children.
Yeah.
yeah, because that's another thing that's bothered me a long time in my life, auntie, is how does a woman, you know, if you know, say you're a single mother, and the last guy you talked to, he sold drugs and had a gun in his waist, and he came in and him tear down the household and none. And then you say to yourself, oh, you know what? It was just Tommy. Tommy just wasn't good for me. Or Billy got a gun and he sells drugs. He's gonna be the one for me. Or, oh, I go to the club on Saturday nights. I met John at the club. Had a one night stand. Now we're talking. We talked for a couple months. Oh, John's not the one. She goes back to the club again 3-4 months later and finds another John. how does a woman constantly go through that same fluctuation as a single mother and not realize, okay, this guy isn't right for me as a relationship?
There has to be a learning experience.
Okay, but okay. First of all, look at the scenario that the scenario that you have brought forth. Okay, drug dealer, gunslinger, club heights.
I'm gonna tell you about. I'm not when I say that. I'm not saying as in that. Let me tell you about. I'm saying, how does a woman choose the same personality traits and have failed her to bring a relationship that she can use, that she can help to raise her child?
Going back, there's a saying that insanity is when you keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. All right, that's insanity. You can't keep on doing. First of all, when you get in a relationship and that relationship doesn't work out, pull yourself aside, you take yourself back, you heal yourself. You cannot continue going into relationship broken and wounded. Yeah. You have to heal yourself.
And not understanding what went wrong.
Okay, what role did you play in this relationship that didn't work out, or this affair that didn't work out? What was your responsibility as a single woman or as a woman in this? Okay, what can you do for in the future for this not to happen to you again? Look at the traits of men that you're getting involved with. Are there similar traits with all these men? And then also you have to have enough sense to not bring every man home where your children are. I think that's common sense. I honestly think that's elementary. You don't introduce.
It's not common.
Oh my God.
It's elementary. You don't introduce your children to everybody that you exchange numbers with, or that you have a beer or a glass of wine with, or you go to dinner with. No, they have to earn that. To bring someone in your home where your children are, it's something to be earned.
Yeah, but you're a lonely woman. You come home from work, you work that 9 to 5. Your feet hurt, your back hurt from a long day at work. Come home, and these kids are licking the paint off the wall.
Call the kids to rub your feet and rub your back.
And
Call the kids to rub your feet and your back, right?
All of a sudden, you had that hard day, you had that stressful day, and here comes slick talking Johnny. Hey, beautiful, how was your day? You want me to come over and rub your feet? And
hard. Your response should be, no, my children are home.
Yeah, but as a human being, Auntie, it's
as human, yeah, I understand what you're saying, and
Auntie, as human being, we have come to a point where doing the wrong thing is the right thing to do because it's easier. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that doesn't make it right.
Yeah, it's yes.
So when you're at this stage in your life where the world is different, and you're a single mother, and you say to yourself, yo, I know a girl right now have 5 children. 5 children. 5. And every 6 months, or 3, 4, 6 months, she'll text me, hey, how you doing? Even though I don't show the interest that she requires or wants, So how do you, in a world where the wrong thing is the easy thing, say to yourself?
Okay, first of all, you have to find your self-worth. That's a broken woman. That's a needy woman. You have to find yourself. Find your self-worth within yourself, so you don't depend. It has, and I'm not saying that it has been an easy road as a single mother myself. It has not. There were times when the bills were high and the finances were low. There were times when I don't know how I'm going to get through to it, but I always say, I trust God. God will provide. So much that there was once, there was Joven needed something, I think at this time it was about to leave to go to study. And he said, there was something that we're talking about. And I said, I don't know how I'm going to get that. I don't know what I'm going to do. He said, God will provide. Isn't that what you always say?
Hey.
Exactly what he said to me. And I said, yes, son, God will provide. But it has not always been easy. But my priority has always been my children. yes, there were times when thoughts come to my mind, or I could do this. It's it's so easy for me to do this, or to get by this, or get by that. And but I look at the bigger picture. I look at the end result. Okay, what it might be, for the short term, yeah, okay, but later on, what's the longer in the long run? What's the big long run? What's the bigger picture? How will it affect me later on? How will it affect my children later on? So you have to look at these things, because remember, as a single parent, your first priority is protecting your children. That's your first priority. That's our first priority, protecting.
I don't feel like that is no longer the standard, Auntie. I feel like the standard in the world we live in today is the single mother's first priority is getting hers in, and I got kids. I mean, if you look at all the social media, you will see single mothers post a picture of her giving oral sex, and then under the picture post a picture of her child.
Really?
And listen, I'm gonna get. It's not the dark web, but it's very close to it. Twitter. Go check out Twitter, y'all. Twitter is the craziest thing you've ever seen in your life. There'll be women on Twitter that will say, "I'm a sex worker," and put on, and then under their posts, they'll have them doing sexual activities, and then under the post, they'll have, look at my.
I'm gonna address this, okay? I can't stand here and beat down a woman, a single mother, the way she chooses to provide for her children.
I don't either.
What I am saying, and I'm not saying that it is right, but what I am saying, your duty is to protect your child from what you're doing. Your child don't have to see that. Your child don't have to know that. Your child don't even have to wonder anything about that. No, it's as a responsible parent protects their children.
What does that, as a woman, when you measure, listen, I agree with you 100%, Auntie. I will never knock a woman as a single mother for doing what she has to do to provide for herself and her children. But when you make that something that affects your child, when your child goes to school and he walk into school and that little fool run up on him, "Hey, last night we all saw your mom's vagina. She was on Twitter and we all saw it. Look, this is your mom's vagina." That kind of,
that's destroying the child, that's destroying the child psychologically.
I don't know if you guys is on the social media like I'm on, because I try to do the best with our podcast, but there are just millions of moms who do this, and I don't know, I can't understand the behavior. I understand the providing for your child, but your life, like you said, should never ever affect your children where you're doing things that your child has to go live that life because of the effect of your doings.
Well, you know what I would want to say is that I believe a lot of the problems that we are having in especially our Black communities with these single moms acting in a way where there's negative impact on their children and stuff like that, is really due to a lack of education, because
when you say education, because you're talking about
education, I'm talking about what's given in the home. Education the mom gives, the dad gives.
Life education.
Yeah, exactly. These are things that aren't taught at school. These are things that are taught at home. You know what I mean? The work really starts there. The work really, really starts there because, as my mom laid out earlier, there are certain principles and values that were laid down from the beginning of
time.
Her, exactly from the beginning of time, you understand, which is basically the backbone and the fundamental basis of my values today, my principles today, and that of my sisters and things like that. So I really believe it starts there. If there are mothers out there, single mothers out there, or single fathers out there doing things that they aren't supposed to do or that impacts their children in a negative way, it's simply because, well, they're not aware, and unfortunately we can't even blame them for something that they do. something that they're doing.
The Bible say one thing. The Bible say when you become a certain age, you become responsible for your choices because you have free will.
Yeah, but when you don't,
I blame every bad parent. That's a bad parent is a choice, man, you, because we don't live in a 1945.
All right. I understand what both of you are saying, and I agree with both of you. I agree with you, Garnet, to an extent, but I totally agree with what Jovain is saying.
Yeah.
Because I agree with both. The way I was raised as a child, and when I became a parent, I thought to myself, this is not what I want for my children. This is not how I want to raise my children. These are not the experiences I want my children to have. So now I'm an adult. I have to do differently. I have to raise them differently. I have to teach them differently. Why? Because I do not want them to experience what I have experienced. I do not want them to have the value that or the lack thereof of values.
You chose that though. But you chose that, Auntie. You chose
and
that.
And I chose that. Exactly.
So bad parents
I did not make I didn't make I did not allow my experience growing up.
Yeah. To be your chooser.
To be my children's. No, and this is hence I love the song If I Could, because I don't want them to go through what I went through. I don't want them to experience the thing that I have experienced in life.
Yeah, but you made that choice.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Those bad parents out there, your life wasn't the best. So nothing, nobody at Jamaica unless you're born with.
You see, there are other people that they're not strong mentally, they're not strong emotionally, so they held on, and they held on to all that trauma and that bad aura and bad experience from their childhood or that they've had with men or women, and they don't know how to let it go. They don't know how to process all of this and deal with it and find themselves. So by the time they have children or get children, they're a whole different human being with a different mindset, a different education, a different way of seeing life. So their children can be raised in a wholesome environment. They don't know how to do that. So what they have learned, what has been handed down to them is exactly what they pass on to their children, because that's all they know.
But it's a choice when it comes to parenting, because, Auntie,
it is a choice.
I did not have the best raising up. I was abused as a child. My mother was in America. She never do like you do. She never sent me away immediately. You see? So I was an abusive household. You see what I'm saying? But me as a parent, I will never in my life grab my children by them hand and beat them with anything. I will never chase my children to the house and spank them. I will never lift. Listen, one time I remember my father, this is when I think my father was the strongest person in the entire world, and I think he was close to God. one time, when me remember I run, I say, yo, the mother beat me like a runaway slave. And me I run, I'm a dash under the bed. And daddy lift up the bed with one hand. I'm on the bed with one hand and beat me under the bed. And then put the bed back and I come from underneath it. And as a parent,
I've had some of those kind of beatings too.
Yeah, but I chose, even though I had all that. And Auntie, when you say things, I'm a mentally strong person, I'm gonna be honest. I am not the most mentally strong person because of all my prior mental situations that I've been through. So I don't make some of the best choices in life. But
we all don't.
Yeah, but
this is what I want to say real quick, Garnet.
Hold on, when it came to my children, Auntie.
Go ahead.
When it came to my children, Auntie, I literally told myself I would never be that parent. And I chose to make, like, you see how you're installing a JD, all them values. I promise you, on every interaction I have with my children, those are the number one values: honesty, integrity, loyalty, honor, respect, caring, and sharing. You see? So when you say people, their parents out there who have all these excuses for not being a good parent, I cannot agree with that because I came through the mud and chose the other way.
Yes.
Garnet, this is what I want to say.
Wait.
Sorry, just so this is what I want to say, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's a common saying that says that is, you know, parenting doesn't come with a manual, right?
Don't.
What the thing that I really want
You want to come with a manual.
Us to understand and take in consideration is that there are people out there, there are single parents out there that are parents, you understand, that decided to keep that child, you understand, but doesn't have the necessary knowledge, experience, because there are ignorant parents out there that just don't know right from wrong, just don't know, the impact that,
right
hold on, just doesn't know
right
the impact. Garnet just doesn't know the impact that the decisions that they make, their behavior has on their child's life. You understand? Who's to know? Because there's no perfect parenting. You understand? Who's to say that maybe something my mom did, you understand, that to her is a good parenting, or something that you do for your child, you understand, doesn't impact your child in a negative way. You never really know, you understand? You never really know.
I cannot agree with that because
you know what? I'm going to agree with Jovin. Let me share something. Let me just inject something.
Yeah.
Let me just inject something. I agree with what Jovin said, because I remember there was a period in time in my parenting where my home was like a communist home. It's what I say and that's it. You know, I speak, you act. I say, and that was it. Yeah. You know, it was like a ironclad home. You know, I laid that. Why? Because I thought that my children are not gonna turn out this way or turn out that way. My children must have respect, must have manners, must have loyalty, must have ambition, must be progressive, must, all these must be. Yeah. And one day I disciplined Jovin. He was like 16 years old, yeah. And I disciplined him, and he wanted to say something, and I shut him up. Why? That boy, don't speak when I'm speaking, but don't you dare talk when I'm talking, because this was something that I also made sure that doesn't happen. We're not equal, so when I speak, you don't speak back at me like that. Wait until I'm done, then you ask if you can speak. And so when I was done, he said, "Mommy, can I speak to you?" And I said, "Go ahead." And he said, "Come in the bedroom." And so we went in the bedroom together and we sat down, and he said to me, "Mommy, you're not fair. You never give us a chance to explain ourselves. You never give us a chance to express ourselves or explain ourselves, and that is not fair." Yeah. It's just what you say. And I took myself down to listen to my child. And I pondered on that, and I said, yes. But all the time, the way I was doing it, I thought it was the right way, Yeah. But then I heard him. That moment, I gave him the platform and the opportunity to express himself and speak. And from that day forward, I decided I was going to change the way I parent my children
because it was the best thing for your child.
Yeah. But it's a learning experience.
So what?
Before I didn't know that. So I learned something new and I applied it and it worked. The only thing I did not permit them to do is to, when I am speaking, you speak at the same time. Yeah. No, we don't argue, because you wait. When I am done, then you speak.
Yeah. But I'm not referring into the sense where you're making being a strict parent isn't something that's bad for your kids. Being an overwhelming parent is bad for your kids when you're doing too much. But you changed something that you were doing for your kids that was for the benefits for your kids. I'm talking about parents that get home at 5 o'clock and drink all night and let the baby cry. I'm talking about parents.
The social worker need to step in.
So I'm saying those parents make the wrong choice because they want to, not because of their upbringing and because of all these other things. That it's a choice. I believe.
No,
This is me. I believe as a parent.
Sometimes this parent or that parent is going, this father or this mother is going through a situation that they don't know how to handle it, and so they just drink away their problem or smoke away their problem or
Exactly
sex
the
away their
choice.
problem.
That's what I'm saying unto them. They are making the choice to choose to drink away the problem instead of putting the child first. I don't believe it's ever a culmination of all your life history that makes you not a good parent. I believe it's a choice that you make not to be a good parent, because I believe innate inside of all of us, we are built to parent because we have sex, we have children, so we procreate. So something that is built into us to, once we procreate, to want to love this child and to be the best of the child. So I believe it's always a choice to be a bad parent, not a combination of your past that makes you be a bad parent.
Okay, but what you have to understand, Garnet, is that there are parents that are parenting their children really badly, but for them, the way they see it, they're parenting their child properly, correctly, because
that's the ignorance I'm talking about.
It's their way of loving their child or children. You know, it's their way of you know, I love my son, I love my daughter, but the way they're doing it is not right. But for them, it's the right way. For them, it's the right way. Now it takes someone else to walk that individual, that pair, that single mother or single father, or even couple through that maze, that parenting maze, and show them, no, you can't take that turn. You can't speak to the child like that. You can't discipline the child like that. You can't educate the child like that. You can't nurture the child like that. You have parents who give their child everyday hamburgers and French fries and ice cream because they love their child so much that every time the child says, I want hamburgers and fries, you give the child hamburgers and fries. Every time the child says, I want ice cream and chocolate, because you love the child, but you are not doing the child any justice.
How can you say, but here's my thing, Auntie, because you're smarter than me, you're more educated than me, and you're also more experienced than me. So I am going to tend to defer to you. But how can you say you love a child when the things that you're doing for the child have a negative impact on the child? Long run or short?
I think ignorance is one of them.
Ignorance is bliss.
Knowing.
Exactly.
Knowing.
It, like Jovain said, ignorance, because you don't know. I just gave the example of a parent that is giving the child all the ice cream that he or she wants, and all the hamburgers. Okay. Then there's this other parent. That every gadget that you can think of, you buy for this child because you love the child, but you're doing the child a disjustice.
You know, he's exposed to everything that's going on out there, and you have no control.
Exactly. So, not only that child will become technologically smart, but in the common aspect of life, the child cannot use his or her imagination. The child doesn't know how to improvise.
Live life. Yeah.
You know, but you think that being a good parent is giving the child all the gadgets that you can think of, but you're actually hurting the child.
Oh my God. Listen, guys, this is an amazing interview. We're probably going to break this up into about 2 or 3 parts. Auntie, we need you to come back. We need to have more conversations.
Definitely.
We need to have more lengthy conversations. We need to discuss some more things with you, you know what I'm saying? Because as they say, experience is the best teacher, and you have more than we do. Man, global state of mind, man. Listen, man.
I'll be happy to be here again.
Guys, listen. We're really trying to emphasize one big thing, man. Critical thinking. And if you didn't pick up none of this, you weren't listening, man. So, no, man. JD, close out, man.
Hey, as we all know, you know, parenting is one of the topics that, you know, tends to stir up a lot of good information and a lot of contradictions and a lot of different arguments, but the most important thing is the fact that we're speaking about it.
Yeah.
having a conversation. You understand? Because through conversation is where we really open up all these different ideas, is where we really come to understand these different values and these different principles and so on and so forth, and come to realize mistakes and, you know, make better decisions. So thanks for being here with us. It's been an amazing episode here with Dr. Georgia Peterking,
Hey,
my mom. You understand that I love so much.
love you, auntie.
Yeah, it's been great.
Love you guys.
Just real quick,
Good show.
give us your professional information. Where can we reach you, and so on and so forth.
Okay, so I'm on social media. On Facebook, you will find my Facebook page, Emotional Freedom Counseling and Therapy Clinic.
Yeah.
You can also email me at myemotionalfreedom@gmail.com. I'm also on Instagram at emotional_freedom.
Hey.
And so you can find me there. Please go
Find
ahead,
her.
shoot me an email, contact me. Bye-bye.
Okay, guys, thanks very
Global
much.
state of
Peace out.
mind.
Like, share, subscribe, and comment. We'll see you next time on the next episode.
We gonna be back. Y'all better stay tuned in. It ain't never gonna stop. Global state of mind.
It's got to be, I'm proud of me. That's why I'm steady moving on despite the hatred. I get better every song, man. It's got to be, I'm proud of me. If you don't like it, move along, get the shaking if the bacon ain't involved, man. It's got to be, I'm proud of me. That's why I'm steady moving.